Today on CityCast Nashville, could finding Pikachu be the key to finding community? From Magic the Gathering to Pokemon, trading card games are having a moment, with groups popping up to play in bars, coffee shops, and card stores across town. To explain the phenomenon and the games themselves for us newbies, we've called in an expert, Matthew Myers, store manager at the Game Cave in Donaldson. It's Tuesday, July 21st. I'm your executive producer, Whitney Pastorek, and this is what Nashville's talking about. Matthew, if you were a Pokemon character, which one would you be and why?
Ooh. Well, my favorite Pokemon is Piplup, who is a little penguin. It's one of the starter Pokemons that you can get in one of the generations. But penguins being my favorite animals in real life helps a little bit, as well as just Piplup's personality. It's a little bit of a diva, which I relate to a little bit. I have my sassy moments.
Okay, amazing. I do not know which Pokemon I would be or why, because I don't know anything about Pokemon. And that's part of why we're having this conversation. These fantasy card games, I am suddenly seeing them everywhere in Nashville. Honestly, folks at home, this episode came about because there were a bunch of people talking about Magic the Gathering at East Nashville Beer Works. And I was like, okay, guys, somebody has to finally explain this to me. But I see this happening at bars, at coffee shops. You are the store manager at the Game Cave where you sell these card games.
Mm-hmm, correct.
And you also host events?
We do, yeah.
Okay, so let's start with the one that started me on this journey. Magic the Gathering. This game has been around, I looked it up, since 1993. What is the enduring appeal of this thing?
It started off as a bit of a niche card game that just kind of grew in popularity over the course of the 90s. It was a very, very competitive-oriented game where it's very cutthroat. You're very much out to just play to win. And that was the way it was for a long time. In the early 2000s, at the competitive events that they would hold, like world championships and stuff like that, like huge tournaments where thousands of people would show up. These tournaments have judges, and the judges, in between rounds, would get bored. So essentially what they did was all the judges got together and created a new way to play Magic, which is now called Commander. Which is basically the most popular format in the world to play Magic the Gathering. And it's the reason why the game is so huge. And that's mostly because Commander allows you to have the most expression.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just going to have to stop you right there.
Yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't even understand how you win in the original version. Like, my vision of this is that it's sort of like war. Like, you play a card and your opponent plays a card, and then they fight, and then you like take their card. How far off am I?
Yeah, you're not that far off. All right, so I'll break it down. Basically, in a normal game of Magic, it's you versus one opponent, okay? And you both have 20 life, essentially. And what you're doing is you are casting spells and playing creatures. These are all on the cards that you have from your deck. And you're essentially trying to take your opponent to 0 life from 20.
Okay.
And that is mostly how you can win. There are many other ways, but that is the main way of how you are going to beat your opponent.
Okay, yes, please do not go into all the other ways. So then how did Commander change the game?
So Commander is a multiplayer format. Instead of 1v1, it is now a 4-player game where it's kind of like a free-for-all last one standing wins. All right. And instead of 20 life, everyone is at 40 life, which definitely changes the game dynamic quite a bit.
Okay. So you're casting spells, you're swinging swords. Again, you said this is all on the cards. It sounds a little bit like Dungeons and Dragons, which I have slightly more familiarity with.
It can be. So Dungeons and Dragons is a lot more of a role-playing aspect. With Magic, it's basically how you're going to express yourself in this game is the cards that you want to play, right? So there's right now there's like some 30,000 Magic cards that have been printed since the game came out. Oh yeah, it's nuts. And more are getting printed every year. They're printing more now than they ever have. But with 30,000 cards at your disposal, you have a lot of room to kind of pick and choose which ones you want exactly to kind of feel out how you want your game to play out. And that's why everyone loves to play this multiplayer format Commander, because 30,000 cards, there's got to be a way that you can represent yourself somehow, right? There's got to be something cool that you can do to let the table know that this is who I am, this is how I like to play.
But you don't bring 30,000 cards to the game. That wouldn't fit in my car.
You do not, no. It's a 100-card deck for Commander. Other formats are usually like 60-card decks.
But you pick which 100 cards you bring to your metaphorical battle?
Right. So for your Commander deck, you have 100 cards. In 1v1 formats, you can have up to 4 copies of a single card in your deck. In Commander, it's called what we call singleton, which means you can only have 1 copy of each card in your deck. So all 100 cards in your deck are unique. And one of them, I know it sounds like so much, right? What's funny is that once you get into it and you start building decks, it's like, oh, 100 isn't enough. I wish I could have more.
Right. So this brings me to, how does one even get started? I've never played Magic before, but let's say I've decided I want to be a part of the trend and I walk into the game cave. What do I buy? I'm also not going to buy 30,000 cards. Let's just be clear. No offense, sir, to you or your place of business.
Oh, no, that would be insane. I don't even own 30,000 cards.
But your website at the store looks like it probably has 30,000 different versions of something on it.
Yes, the store currently has north of 10,000 cards in stock right now. Essentially, how you want to begin is you can either take the digital route or the physical route. So digital, Magic has an app that you can download either on a computer or on your phone or tablet called Magic the Gathering Arena. And you'll make an account with the website. And then once you log in for the first time, there's a cute little character called Sparky who will walk you through the steps of how to play the game, essentially.
Okay. He sounds nice, but I want to do this in person.
Yes, of course. In person, when you go to the store and you're saying, I want to learn how to play Magic, where do I start? Along the same veins of the intro how to play on Arena, you can also buy a beginner box, which is kind of the same idea. There's a couple of decks inside the box that they say, do not shuffle when you take these out of the box. And so you get a instruction manual that will basically say, do not shuffle this deck, draw your first card. This is what this card is. This is what it does. This is what you do with it.
Got it. Okay, but then I'm assuming you want fancy special cards.
Mm-hmm.
So you're probably not going to want to play against somebody who's really good with a beginner box. So then is this where it becomes like baseball card collecting, where you don't know if you're going to get the special foil bubblegum Shohei Ohtani card or whatever?
That mostly comes down to cracking packs, right?
Cracking packs. Okay.
Yeah. This is where the addiction sets in, right? Because whenever they come out with a new set for Magic, which at this point is about every other month and a half, they release booster boxes. These booster boxes have 30 packs in them. When you open a pack, you are going to get around 15 cards, and it's going to be, there's multiple different rarities for the cards, but essentially there's always going to be one big hit in the back, and that big hit is going to determine what value, the pack was, essentially.
All right. I dig this. I can see where it gets addictive.
Yes.
I also heard from a teenage friend of mine that people are upset that they're also now crossing over into like Marvel characters. Like there's Spider-Man, Magic the Gathering. Do you feel that the, purity of the game is being tainted by capitalism? It's kind of a sarcastic question, but I really do actually mean it.
No, it's such a legit question in this time because a lot of people are on either side of the fence here. But what it comes down to is, are they doing this because money? Yeah, every company is out to do what they're doing to make money. At the end of the day, how I'm viewing this is, I don't care if it's Captain America, Avatar: The Last Airbender, Spider-Man, whatever they've done. All these crossovers are bringing more people into the game, and the game is getting seen by people that it otherwise wouldn't have. And with new people playing the game all the time, you can't really complain about that because you'll have more people to play with.
Quick question, Nashville. Has your sink been draining a little slower than usual? Or maybe you've heard some gurgling when the washing machine runs. Well, those little warning signs are often your main drain asking for help. And trust me, I am speaking from experience. It's a whole lot easier and a heck of a lot cheaper to deal with the problem now than to wait until you've got water backing up into your kitchen or your bathroom. That's where Hoffman Brothers comes in. Right now, they're offering a main drain opening special for just $95. It's a flat rate, so there are no surprises. And their licensed Nashville plumbers will get your drain flowing again before a small issue turns into a major headache. So don't wait until you're ankle deep in water, like I did. Book your $95 drain service today at HoffmanBros.com. Hoffman Brothers has Nashville covered.
All right, let's switch and talk about the other big one, Pokemon. This is a game that my 8-year-old friends and my 40-year-old friends talk about constantly. And again, it's not just the apps, it's the physical form. So same question, how do it work?
So Pokemon is very much more so about collecting than the game.
Ah, you have to catch them all, I hear.
Right. This is the, some call it the dark side of TCGs, but I don't play Pokemon. I can't tell you much about how the game works other than you have a team of Pokemon and you are battling your opponent's team of Pokemon to try to just win. Other than that, the collecting aspect is more so what our store is focused on because that is what most people are doing.
Right. I've seen, again, my 8-year-old friend with the giant binders. Like I used to have binders of CDs and these kids have binders of Pokemons.
Right.
Is it just because they're cute?
That is a big part of it. So they're also releasing new Pokemon every 5 or 6 years or so. But yeah, the Pokemon are getting cuter and cuter all the time. The arts on the cards are getting better. And more people are finding ways to relate to Pokemon, if you can believe that. Because each one, not only is it just a cute little creature, but they all have a personality.
Right. Yeah, I don't know what more they want from me. I've already Pokemon Go to the polls.
Yeah.
But you know what I like about this, though, is that it's a tactile, physical thing. It is moving away from, I'm going to play Candy Crush on my phone, and instead I'm going to fetishize this physical object. I would assume there's something very comforting about that.
Yeah, it gives people kind of something to go for because, the world is kind of crazy right now in one form or another. Having something to call your own and having like an end goal with like things that you're collecting is always a good thing. It keeps you going because a lot of people like to what they call master set a Pokemon set, which is collect one of every card in the set, which is incredibly hard to do, especially if you're only doing it by cracking packs.
Right. Yeah. There goes all your booze money.
Yeah.
Okay. You said TCG before. What does that stand for?
Stands for trading card game.
Trading card game. There. That's really straightforward. And there's one more I noticed on your website that I'd never heard of before. One Piece?
Yes.
What's that?
One Piece is humongous right now.
Oh.
So it's based on the anime One Piece, which also now has a Netflix live action adaptation that was pretty popular. It's centered around a bunch of pirates and their crews and how they all interact and battle one another. But One Piece is exploding right now in popularity, both the game and collecting wise.
What do you think set it off?
So that's interesting. This goes into the darker side of the TCGs, right? So
yes,
there is,
darkness.
Yeah, you want to talk about darkness?
Yeah.
Let's go. Okay. So they have what is called Pokemon Bros. Okay. These are people, I know it's hilarious.
Are they like bronies? I remember bronies.
They're kind of like investment bros.
Oh.
Yeah. But in the TCG world, we call them Pokemon Bros. They are people who are strictly in it for the money because you can find some crazy statistics online where Pokemon regularly yields more investment return than the S&P 500.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I'm in the wrong line of investing.
That's exactly what everyone says. And that is also one reason why the hobby is exploding. But a lot of these people who are big investors into Pokemon started moving into One Piece because they're regularly releasing sets. There's new cards coming out all the time. The art on the cards is incredible on some of the rarest cards you can pull. I mean, they're golden, like literally gold foiling on these things. And the cards just look spectacular. But a lot of them started moving into One Piece and buying up all of the expensive cards online. Thus, the price of everything in One Piece skyrocketed literally overnight.
Oh my God, it's like the housing market.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like anything else, it's like they're collectibles. And if there is less of a product that is in high demand, price is just going to go up.
Wow. I was going to ask that question, which is like, how much money does somebody need to invest to really establish a toehold here? Again, I'm sure you could just get one beginner pack and go out and get your butt kicked, but what's an average investment to really make this a serious hobby?
In terms of playing or collecting?
Let's say in terms of playing, because the whole point of this is that this is how people are building community. So
right, yeah.
Let's pretend I want to go meet my people by playing Magic at Strega, for example, where I've seen them have nights. How much am I looking to put down?
Easiest thing to do is to buy a pre-constructed commander deck, which we have tons of. We sell them all the time. That'll run you about $50. Oh. And then you can buy sleeves for it so that the deck is easier to shuffle and that the cards don't get damaged. That's going to run you about $15. And then boom, you're out the door for, what is that, $60, $70, something like that?
That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's not bad. And then wait, when you beat another person, do you take their cards or am I making that up?
It used to be that way, but it is no longer that way.
Copy. Okay, heard.
Looking for an easy getaway from Nashville? Head just a few hours south to Birmingham, Alabama, where Southern hospitality meets a vibrant food scene, outdoor adventure, and plenty to explore. Nicknamed the Magic City, Birmingham has transformed into one of the South's most exciting destinations. Food lovers can dig into their nationally recognized dining scene, where 11 local restaurants earned Michelin honors this year, including the prestigious Outstanding Service Award. If you'd rather be outside, you'll find miles of nature to hike, bike, climb, camp, or simply unwind. Not to mention the 140,000 yards of some of the best public golf on earth. Traveling with family? Catch a Birmingham Barons baseball game. Spend the day at the McWane Science Center. Visit the Birmingham Zoo. Or check out the world's largest vintage motorsports museum. With live music, festivals, incredible restaurants, and something new happening year-round, Birmingham makes for the perfect weekend escape. Start planning your next getaway to Birmingham today at inbirmingham.com.
So let's get into some of these ways to play here in person. I know that your shop hosts games almost every night of the week, it looks like.
Yes.
What are some other great places around town where people are getting together to do this stuff?
It is mostly game stores. I know there's a couple of game stores around town that are pretty big. Next Level Games is one that regularly hosts events as well. Game Point Cafe in East Nashville has a Magic Monday that they do every Monday night.
Yeah, they've got all kinds of games there too. Looking at their schedule, they also have Dungeons and Dragons. They have Settlers of Catan, another thing that someone will have to explain to me someday.
Other than that, I honestly couldn't tell you a whole lot of like bars and things like that, because usually when I'm playing, I'm going to a game store. And if I can't go to a game store because they're full or whatever, then we'll go to like, a bar somewhere with like a group of friends.
I would guess some of the appeal though about playing Magic out in person is that it's not a very long game, right? It's not like Dungeons and Dragons where you're maybe locked in for like a week.
Right. So the games will typically last, an hour or two. It's kind of like your own board game. You're building your own board game because you've built your own deck.
Sweet. Okay. So shops, clearly the best place. Your shop, clearly to you, the best place. So if I show up.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. If I show up for one of y'all's game nights, what should I expect? What are the vibes?
The vibes are incredible. We do Casual Commander every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, which is free to just walk in and find a spot to play. We also do a raffle that you can enter into optionally for $8. You get a free Magic pack with it. Oh. And then at 6 o'clock, we spin a wheel of the names of everyone that entered the raffle. And the longer you last without your name being called, the better your prize gets over time. We have like tiers of prizing throughout the raffle. And usually if we get enough people, the winner gets an entire booster box of 30 packs of whatever the latest Magic set is.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Yeah, it's really awesome. Yeah, it's super popular.
Okay, so you say you just come in and find a place to play. So is it just like you've got tables and you just sit down somewhere?
Yeah, we've got a whole game room that's like kind of off to the side, and we can hold up to 50 people in there.
And are people meeting each other and forming relationships in the real world through this?
Yes, actually, a lot of the Magic players have now started to meet outside of the store just to like play games whenever they can at the store. Because like you said, we have events going on every day. Not all of them are Magic. So they have to sometimes go to their friend's house to play. The One Piece community, because One Piece is exploding, the One Piece community is super strong with each other. They're all friends. They all hang out online and in person. It's awesome.
This is great. This seems like exactly the thing we need in this world. It's just more ways to connect with each other.
Absolutely. In the digital age, the more you can go out and just see people face to face, it's awesome.
All right. Well, tell the folks at home, where's Game Cave? What are your hours?
So the Game Cave's open every single day of the week, open from noon to 10 on the weekdays, 11 to 9 on weekends. It's located in Donaldson on Old Lebanon Pike, just across from the Strike and Spare.
That's an excellent location. So much good food and drink over there. Wait, can I like go to Bagel Shop and bring in a bagel and play a game?
I do it multiple times a day or a week.
Okay, sweet. And what about booze? Can I bring in booze? Frowned upon.
So it's a little frowned upon, mostly because if you get in a brawl for some reason, we're liable. So
wait, has somebody actually gotten into a brawl?
Not yet. For the most part, we're pretty good about keeping alcohol out. But yeah, there's a lot of liability when it comes to that. We can't afford all that.
That's true. That's true. But like, do people really get that upset during the games? Is this something you should be live streaming?
It gets heated sometimes for sure. Yeah. We get people that get salty and walk out.
Like, you killed my dragon. I hate you.
Yeah. You used an unfair card against me, so I quit. See you later.
So much of this is just like real life. I love it. I'm even more intrigued than I was before we had this conversation. Matthew, thank you so much for taking the time to come on and explain this. Folks, if you're looking for a great way to meet new people for not a whole lot of money, head on down to the Game Cave or any one of the other great card shops in Nashville and pick yourself up a new hobby. Air conditioned, too.
Oh, we always keep it like 68 degrees minimum in there.
See, this is perfect. All right, Matthew, thank you so much for being here.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me on. I enjoyed it.
Real quick, folks, before we go, it's my birthday today. Yay! And the best way you could honor another year in my spectacular life is to take our annual listener survey. Go to citycast.fm/survey right now. Do it. The info you share will help us better serve you, our beloved listeners. Plus, you've got the chance to win a $250 Visa gift card and some rad CityCast swag. Just go to citycast.fm/survey. It only takes about 7 minutes. And even if you did it last year, thank you, you got to do it again. It's not that we don't appreciate you. We just need new data. Okay, take the survey. Thank you so much. That's all for today here on CityCast Nashville. Early voting is open now through August 1st for the August 6th state and federal primary election and municipal general. Go vote! And don't forget, you can support this show and get great perks by becoming a CityCast Nashville neighbor at membership.citycast.fm. If you enjoyed the show, why not tell your friends after you've told them to go vote? Rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our CityCast Nashville newsletter. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Y'all take care of each other.